Good morning, everybody. So, just a set of blocks for today. You're going to set them up in a T-like position. So, the top one's going to be standing tall, the bottom one can be at its lowest setting or medium setting. And you're going to have a bolster and then an optional block. Of course, I'm using a pillow instead of a bolster. You kind of want a sturdy pillow. And I'm using a looped band instead of a strap. The strap is totally optional. Once you get your block set up in that T-like position, we're going to go ahead and set our bolster on it. And we're going to start laying on our backs today. And of course, making sure you've got some water. So just having a seat, leaning back on your bolsters, bringing your soles to touch, butterfly your knees open so your neck is rested up on the bolsters. Just letting your knees butterfly open. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, focusing here on your breathing. Deep inhales, filling your belly, your ribs, and your lungs. Hold at the top. Full exhale, lungs, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, lungs. Hold it at the top. Exhale, ribs, belly, lungs. Keeping that breath going. And if you just joined us, no worries, we're setting our blocks up in a T-like position. The top one is at its highest stance. The lowest one is at lowest or medium setting, just setting your bolster or your pillow on top and leaning back. Soles of your feet to touch, butterfly your knees open. Focusing here on your breath. On your next full exhale, seal your lips. Inhale, belly, ribs, lungs. Hold at the top. Keep those lips sealed. Exhale, lungs, ribs, belly. Keep that breath going with your lips sealed. Extra sip of air. Hold at the top. Slowly exhale through your nose. Keep that breath going as you release your hands by your hips. Palms are facing up. From here, we're just going to make snow-like angels with our arms. Hopefully winter is over soon. We're just going to make those snow angels, maybe some desert angels, hoping for some warmer weather. Palms stay facing up, warming up those shoulders. We won't do any inversions, so no downward dogs, no standing poses today. We're going to warm up the body, keeping everything slow and controlled. One more snow angel. As you bring your hands back down to your hips, bring the soles of your feet towards the floor, knees to touch. Roll yourself up. From here, we're going to remove that bolster. Keep it close by. And then we're going to lower the blocks to its lowest setting, making an eye. So we're going to connect them and just bringing the blocks like so on the floor. And then placing that bolster or that pillow back on top. You can also remove the blocks and just bring the bolster or the pillow flat on the floor. We're going to come and find our child's pose. You can slide the blocks and the bolster closer to you or further away from you. And we're just going to come down, first bringing your chin towards that bolster or that pillow. Toes to touch, knees fall open. You can extend your arms out long, keeping with that same breath. Deep inhales, deep exhales. next one, we're going to rotate our left ear towards the pillow or the bolster. Just gently resting that left ear. If the twist is too much for your neck, just keep forward. You can also place your forehead onto that block or bolster. I think it's a little hard to hear me when I do that. I'm just going to keep my left ear just relaxing all the way, feeling that full twist in your neck, or keeping your chin or your forehead flat. Next exhale, rotate to the other side, or just keep your chin or forehead. So right ear to the block or the bolster. Maybe sinking your hips closer towards your heels. Maybe stretching your fingertips out longer. Breathing in and out through your nose. If you had your right ear on the pillow, go ahead and bring your chin or forehead to the pillow. We're going to lift our palms, pressing our finger pads in towards the floor, lifting your forearms off of the mat. And then release your palms back down. So that one more time. Lift your palms up, forearms lift, press your finger pads in towards the floor, creating that arch in your palm. And then release your palms back down to the floor. Go ahead and walk your hands towards your knees. You're welcome to keep the blocks and pillows just like so, or you can release the blocks. We're going to come into a fetal position, so bringing your right hip towards that pillow and blocks if you're using them, and just lay down, left ear on the block or the bolster. You can stack your hips. You can also stagger your feet. Just resting your left ear down. On your next inhale, gently rise up. Twisting if you'd like to bring your right ear on that pillow. You can, of course, always keep the twist with your left ear. You want to deepen that stretch. Looking over your left shoulder, gently placing your right ear on the bolster or the pillow. On your next inhale, gently press your palms to rise up. We're going to just switch sides. So we're moving your left hip on the floor, placing your right hip down. Adjust yourself or your pillow. You need to. Just resting your right ear on the floor. You can hold on to that bolster. You can also bring your arms out to a T if you'd like. Your right ear is just gently resting on that bolster. You can stack or stagger your legs. Noticing a different sensation in your outer hip if you stagger the legs. You are welcome to stay here with your right ear on the bolster, or if you'd like a deeper twist, inhale to rise, exhale to twist, looking over your right shoulder, gently placing your left ear or cheek on the bolster. Go ahead and bring your chin back to the center. Walk your hands towards your hips. We're going to lift that bolster and set the blocks off to the side. And then we're going to place the bolster back on the floor, just flat, still long ways. We're going to come onto our belly. You can bring your forearms down, crossing your hands underneath, bringing your left ear towards that bolster pillow, and we're going to slide that right leg up, coming into half frog. So your left leg is straight, your right toes are turned out, your right knee comes up as high, or keep it as low as you'd like. Left ear on that pillow, allowing your right hip to open up. If you'd like a deeper neck stretch, keep your right knee just where it's at. Rotate, looking over your left shoulder, placing your right ear on that bolster. And you can have your arms in any direction. You can cross your palms. You can tee out your arms, extend them out in front. Personally, I just like to have them underneath that bolster. With any adjustments that are comfortable for you this morning. And on your next inhale, go ahead and bring your gaze back to center. Bring your hand under your shoulders, release your right knee, and then draw your left knee up, the height that works for you. Place your hands in any direction. Option to tee up the arms, extend them long overhead, maybe crossing your palms, elbows are wide. Right ear just gently placed onto that bolster. Allowing the left hip to open up on the side. Remembering the breath in and out through the nose. Holding that left knee just where it's at. Option to rotate your left cheek or ear towards that bolster. Go ahead and bring your gaze back to center. Release your left knee, bringing your feet hip width apart and parallel. Walk your hands under your shoulders, pressing yourself up to a tabletop position. We're going to set that bolster off to the side. We are going to use it again later in class. Coming back to your tabletop, wrists under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to tuck our toes, lifting our gaze, coming into cow. Hammock your belly down, deep inhale. Exhale as you scoop and arch, untuck your toes, rounding your spine, gaze towards your navel. Come through neutral spine, tuck your toes, lift your gaze. Really hammock your belly down, spiral your elbow creases in towards one another. Come through neutral spine. Untuck your toes, really round your spine out towards the ceiling. Inhale, tuck your toes, lift your gaze. Exhale, untuck your toes, round your spine. Let's do that one more time. Come through neutral spine, tuck your toes, lift your gaze. Scoop and arch, exhale, round your spine. When you're ready, come back to a neutral spine, back is flat. Maybe patter out your toes. Make some organic movement here, maybe bump your hips from side to side. You can also add in some barrel rolls, drawing your hips towards your wrist, down towards your heels. And of course, what you do in one direction, go ahead and repeat in the opposite direction. Hopefully your knees don't snap, crackle, and pop like mine just did. All right, finishing up that last bit of movement. Let's get some wrist stretches in here. So back to your tabletop, wrists under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to spiral our fingertips towards the edge of your mat. They don't have to be directly at that 90-degree. They can be at any angle if that's comfortable for you. Option to hold it here if you'd like a deeper stretch. Maybe rock your body from side to side. And then coming back through center, we're going to spiral those fingertips towards your knees at any degree, any variation. Of course, if any of this is bothersome, you can always keep your fingertips facing towards the top of your mat and just moving your body side to side. If your fingertips are spiraled towards your knees, option to hold it here. If you'd like, you can rock forwards and backwards. Feeling what feels good to you this morning, today. Maybe it's different than your last practice. Coming back to neutral spine, back is flat. We're going to bring the fingertips back facing towards the top of your mat. We're going to release the right palm, so right palm is facing up towards the ceiling, left palm is down. Option to hold it here if you'd like. You can rock forwards and backwards. Maybe side to side if that feels good to you today. And then come back to neutral spine, back is flat. Flip your right palm down, and then flip your left palm up towards the ceiling. Same option for movements here, forwards and back, maybe side to side. You can also just hold it still, just flipping it over that left palm is a good enough stretch as well. All right, come back to neutral spine, flip your left palm over. From here, we're going to reach our right arm up towards the ceiling, under and through the left side body, hovering that right arm, reach it back up. You can bring your gaze up, forward, or keep it down towards your left hand. One more time, right arm reaches up, under and through the left side body, hovering, holding, and then slide that right hand further if you can, release it down towards the floor, and then option to place your right ear or right cheek to the floor. You can also place a block underneath your right side, bringing that earth a little bit closer towards you. You can keep your left hand boxed out. You can also extend it out long. You can bind it around your back. If you would like, you can extend that left leg long, holding and breathing. Left arm is extended, go ahead and bring it back down to your left shoulder. Keep your left leg extended. We're going to reach that right arm up towards the ceiling and then place that right hand down so your wrists are directly under your shoulders. We're going to slide that left leg out from your left hip. So I'm going to turn and face you guys. So keep that left leg straight, slide it out. We're coming into gate pose. So you're in like a slanted tabletop with that left leg just kicked out. From here, we're going to hinge our hips back and then press it forward. So both palms are planted. Your right knee and right foot are in the floor. Your left leg is kicked out from the side. We're hinging our hips back towards our heel and then forward. A few more times just like this. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and rise up, bringing your hips stacked over your knee. Walk your hands towards your knees and then rise up slowly. Draw your arms up high overhead. Draw your left hand down to your left knee. Right arm comes up high overhead. And then bring your right hand down to the floor. Option to place it under a block. Left arm comes up. Option to lift that left leg. You have it lifted. Go ahead and lower it down. One more time on each side. Rise up, shoulder stacked over your hips. Left hand down. And then bring your right hand down to the floor or to a block. Left leg lifts and lowers. Rise up. Bring your hands to heart center. Fold forward. Placing your hands on the floor, back to that tripod tabletop. We're going to try to keep that left leg straight as we lift it up and over the outside of our left leg, looking over your left shoulder, flexing that left foot. So your gaze is over that right shoulder. Option to hold it here. If you'd like a deeper stretch, bend that left knee, so your left knee is to the outside of the right. This is option 1. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can walk your hips back towards your heels. Noticing that stretch in your hips. Fingertips are still spread wide out in front. Holding and breathing. If you'd like to deepen that sensation, you can spread your feet wide. If you'd like to loosen that, you can bring your toes closer together. Right from here, go ahead and extend your legs straight back and then draw it in line with your left. Bring your left knee in line with your right. All right, coming back to our tabletop, maybe doing a few hips side to side, so the same thing on the right side. So back to our tabletop, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, reach your left arm up high, under and through that right side body, hovering that left arm, reach it back up 2 more times, under and through that right side body. Third and final time, reach up super high, and then reach it under and through, hovering and holding. Extend that left arm even further, maybe it's just 1 inch, and then release it down to the floor. Option to bring your left ear or cheek to the floor. You can also place it on that block. And just holding here. Few options as well. You can extend that right arm out in front. You can also bind that hand around your hip towards your left hip. You can extend your right leg straight back. Keep your right toes flexed. Holding and breathing. On your next inhale, keep your right leg extended. You're going to bring your right hand under your right shoulder. Press yourself up. Left arm lifts. And release it down to the floor. From here, keep that right leg straight. We're going to bring it up and over from the right hip. Walk your hands, keep your hands under your shoulders. We're going to press the hips back towards the heel and then draw them forward. So you can have your right foot flat on the floor. You can also have that inner knife edge on the floor. Lifting your arch up, pressing back and forward. All right, on the next one, we're going to stay in that tripod tabletop, so your right leg stays extended. Walk your hands now towards your left knee. Rise up, arms come up high overhead. From here, bring your right hand down your right leg. Left arm comes up high overhead, stack your shoulders. And then come down, left hand comes down to the floor or to a block, right arm comes up. Option to lift and lower that right leg 1 more time each side. Rise up, arms overhead, shoulders stacked over your hips. Right hand down. Inhale to rise. Exhale, left hand comes down to the floor or block. Lift and lower. Go ahead and rise back up. Bring your hands to heart center. Fold forward anytime. Place your hands on the floor under your shoulders. Keeping that right leg straight. We're going to lift it, point the toes, and then draw it over to the outside of our left knee. Gazing, looking over your left shoulder. Draw it back in line. Maybe a few more hip circles. Back in that tabletop. All right. From here, we're going to extend the right leg back, bend your knee, draw a few circles here with the right knee, and then reverse. Take it straight back. We're going to draw that knee in towards the right elbow and then step it to the outside of your right foot. So we're going to come into a lizard pose. So your toes are facing to about 2 o'clock. They're not straight. From here, you have a deep bend in that right knee. We're going to press the hips back towards the heel, straighten that right leg, and then press it forward. You can always bring a block underneath that left knee if you'd like. Press it back and forward. One more time. If you have that block under your left knee, go ahead and release it off to the side. Place your hands back onto the floor. We're going to extend that right leg back. We're going to open up the hip, so we're bending that right knee, just as if you were in a three-legged dog. Maybe circle out your right ankle and reverse. And then gently place your right knee to meet the left. Extend your left leg straight back. From here, maybe circle out the hip and reverse the direction. Leg back, draw your left knee in towards your left elbow, and then step your left foot to the outside of your left wrist. Bring your toes facing about 10 o'clock. You can also bring that block to the right knee if you'd like. And then we're going to hinge forward and then press your hips towards your heels. Bring it forward and back. 2 more times. Alright, from here, hold it forward. If you have that block under your right knee, go ahead and lift your right knee. Release that block off to the side. Release your right knee back down. Both hands under your shoulders. Extend that left leg back. Bend that left knee. We're going to open up that left hip. So circle out your left heel. And what you do in one direction, go ahead and do in the opposite direction. And then place that left knee to meet the right. We're going to come back and we're going to have a seat. If you would like, you can place blocks under your hips. I personally like to use 1 or 2 blocks. And then we're going to butterfly our knees. You can crisscross applesauce right over left, left over right. Bring the soles to touch. With or without 1 or 2 blocks, sitting up nice and tall. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Coming back to that breath from the beginning. All right, from here, place your hands on your knees. You can do a few neck rolls from side to side. If you want to use that strap or without a strap, you can also practice cow face. Right hand overhead, left arm comes up. So just to show you guys, I'm still in that seated, easy pose. You can do it with or without the band. Maybe your hands can touch. And of course, what you do in one direction, go ahead and do in the other. Left hand behind your back, right arm up. This side I'm significantly less flexible. This is when that strap comes in handy. You can also always just keep your palms facing up on your knees. Staying up nice and tall still. From here, we're going to bring the right foot over the left. It's coming to a seated position. If you're on that block, You're going to lean your knees a little bit forward, allowing your hips to open up a little bit more. Bring your hands down by your side, right hand down to the floor, left arm comes up high overhead, and then come back to center, left arm down, right arm comes up high overhead. This time we're going to keep the right hand down, left arm comes up high. Really try to connect your right ear to your right shoulder. Hold that connection on the right ear and right shoulder and rise up, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Extend your left arm directly out from your shoulder. Bring your palm facing up with your right ear still connected to that right shoulder. Release your right hand. Place it gently on your left ear and then just keep that connection on the right side. From here, we're going to lower that left arm towards the floor. Doesn't have to touch. We're going to draw some circles forwards, up, back, and lower. Slow and controlled. Make the circles really big. Keep that palm facing up. All right, once you come down towards the floor, we're going to reverse that direction. Draw that hand up and back. Once you reach that top, draw it forward and down. One more full circle. Right ear to right shoulder. And then releasing your left hand to the floor. Still with your right hand to your left ear. We're going to press down as you actively press the left side up. And then release. Pressing against your right hand, pressing to the left. And then release. Make it very gentle. One more time. And then release. Bring your head upright. Release your right hand down. We're going to roll the left arm back, right arm back, and then switch. Left arm forward, right arm forward. All right, from here, left hand down, right arm comes up high overhead. And then come down to the other side, right hand down, left arm comes up high overhead. All right, last time, hold that left hand down, right arm comes up high overhead. Find that connection on the left side. Left ear, left shoulder. Hold that connection. Rise up, stack your shoulders over your hips, still with that connection. We're going to release the right hand directly out from the shoulder, like a broken T. Palm is facing up. Release your left hand to your right ear, gently pressing your left ear in towards your left shoulder. Release your right hand down. We're going to circle that right arm up and around. As you can, slow it down as much as you can. Palm stays facing up. Once you reach that second circle, go ahead and reverse it. Bring it back and up. And forward and down. One more full circle. Very nice. Push your right hand to the floor. We're going to keep that left hand towards our right ear. We're going to press that right ear up towards the ceiling and your left hand down. And then release. Just a little neck stretch here. One more time. All right, go ahead and release that left hand down. Bring your gaze back to center. Roll your shoulders forward and backwards. Shake it out. All right, go ahead and set that block off to the side. We're going to come back to that butterfly position, so bringing the soles of your feet to touch. We're going to grab our best friend, that bolster. It's a nice fun stretch. So bringing that bolster in between your feet. We're going to fold it down and then we're just going to hinge forward. Bringing your chin or your forehead into that bolster or that pillow. Nice stretch for the lower back. You can lengthen your toes further from your hips or bring them closer. And then gently rise up on your next exhale. We're going to bring the legs to a wide straddle. We're going to place that bolster in between. Your legs can be flat. You can also place a block underneath your knees. If that bend is more comfortable for you, you can also remove the blocks and just still have that bend in the knees. With that bolster down the middle, we're going to walk our hands forward. Knees can be bent or straight. And we're just going to fold forward. Wide leg, forward fold. Placing your chin or your forehead onto that bolster. You can walk your hands out as far as you'd like. You can also keep them as close in as you'd like, keeping your upper body higher if you prefer. All right, go ahead and walk your hands back towards your hips. From here, we're going to keep that right leg extended. Bring the sole of your left foot in. We can place a block or two underneath that right knee. And then place the bolster on top of your right knee. And then just fold forward as if you're laying on your right side. You can always set that block aside if you'd like. You can point and flex your right toes. On your next inhale, gently rise up. Switching sides, extend your left leg long, draw the sole of your right foot in towards your left thigh. Option to place that block under your right knee if you like to keep that left knee bent. With or without that block under your left knee, place the bolster of the pillow onto your left leg and then just fold over. Maybe pointing and flexing your left toes if that feels good to you. And then rise up slowly. Set that bolster off to the side. Bring the soles of your feet together or crisscross applesauce, whatever's comfortable for you. Bring your arms up high overhead. Reach your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Right hand comes behind you or to a block, gazing, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Arms come up high overhead. Right hand to the outside of your left knee. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen your spine even more. Exhale, twist 1 more inch. And then come back to center. All right, we're going to go ahead and find a seat. Rolling all the way back. Keep your bolster and your blocks close by. Bend your knees. Grab one block on its lowest setting. Press your feet into the floor. Lift your hips and place that block under your hips. Again, at its lowest setting. Holding here, we're going to lift our leg, one leg or both legs at a time up towards the ceiling, legs up the wall. Option to bring your hands up towards your toes, pointing, flexing, circling out your ankles. And then gently bending one or both knees, bringing the soles of your feet to the floor. Once they get there, lift your hips, release the block from your hips, set that block off to the side. Then we're going to lift our legs and arms back up to the ceiling, noticing the difference with and without the block. Legs up the wall, without the block under our hips. Again, pointing, flexing, circling out those ankles. From here, bend your knees. You can grab the back side of your thighs for happy baby. You can also grab the outer knife edge of your foot, drawing your knees toward your shoulders. Maybe rocking side to side in happy baby. You can come into ninja baby, extend your left leg. Draw the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. And then switching sides, right leg long. Draw the sole of your left foot in towards your right thigh. You can come to a wide leg straddle. You can also bring the soles of your feet to touch, knees butterfly open. From here, extend your legs out long. And then draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder, avoiding your rib cage. Just clasping your hands beneath your right knee. Left foot is flexed. Point flex, circle out to your right ankle. And then with your left hand, grab the outside of your right knee. Out across the left side of your body. Option to gaze, looking over your right shoulder. Supine twist. You can also bend that right elbow, cactusing that arm. Back to center. Draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder. And then switch. Right leg long, left knee in towards your left shoulder, just grabbing beneath your left knee. Right foot is flexed. Maybe point flex, circle out your left foot. Hold the left foot still. With your right hand, grab the outside of your left knee, draw it across the right side of your body. Option to bring your gaze over to the left shoulder. Option to extend your left arm out to the T. You can also bend, cactus that elbow. Come back to center. Keep that left knee in towards your shoulder. And then extend. From here, you can use blocks under your hips. You can use a bolster under your knees if you'd like. We're going to find our final Savasana. You can also place them under your shoulders, your hips, your knees. Heels towards one another, toes fall open, your heels don't have to touch. Palms facing up, pinkies in. Squeeze your toes, your calves, your thighs, your glutes. Squeeze your shoulders. Squeeze your hands into a ball. And then release everything and relaxing. Everything falls open. Maybe close your eyes. You can in and out through your mouth. Maybe wiggling your hands, wiggling your toes, maybe opening your eyes. Go ahead and remove any props that you have off to the side. Go ahead and extend your arms up high overhead. Roll to the left or the right side. Curve yourself into a ball. Keep your right hand boxed out. From here, press yourself up gently to a seated position. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning, allowing me to practice with you. Have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your weekend. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Hope you have a fantastic